we are again. We're live. Things happen when you're live. Connections do get lost. But Ella, we were just saying a big hello to you, and so lovely to have you here with us today. How's your summer going so far?
Well, it's from a weather point of view, it's poor. Very poor, I'm afraid, in England.
I love how the conversation always goes to the weather.
I'm
but
British.
let's not talk weather.
What do you expect? I'm British. But yes, no, apart from that, it's fantastic. Yeah, Lead 5050 is growing. We've got the awards coming up, which we're going to be talking about. Yeah, and it's a really exciting time to be part of it.
How long has it been since you ladies have launched Lead 5050? I remember when this was just a conversation in the corridors of events that we used to attend back then. How long has it been?
7 years. It's been this is the 7th annual Lead 5050 Awards. It was back in the Marlena Bar in ISEF Berlin all those years ago, 8 years ago, that we, Leanne, Maria and myself, met up and decided to form a kind of loose networking women's empowerment type group. We felt that there was a lack of that within the international education industry. And then it's just gone from strength to strength. We've now pivoted in many ways throughout the pandemic, and we've developed some software that helps companies close their gender pay gap. We're doing events like the Gender Pay Gap Summit and the Workplace Equity Symposium that's coming up in February. That they've both been in London, but we're looking at doing them internationally. And of course, the awards are our kind of hero event, headline event that people
and I think love. that is your headline event, and that is what most people, I mean, in all honesty, yes, the awards are kind of the main event that gets the big spotlight, but all of the other topics and events that you are mentioning are things that have also gathered a lot of following and a lot of importance in the industry as the years rolled by. So if you had to compare, Ella, 7 years, Lead 5050 7 years ago and Lead 5050 today, how do you compare, how has the organization grown in these past years?
Well, it's a completely different beast now. Before, like I say, it was just a group for women to come together and network and support each other, and we still definitely very much part of that. But we are also now, we've had investment, and we've spent the past year developing a piece of software that helps companies close their gender pay gap. That's a big issue for companies, about balancing their workplace. I mean, we're Lead 5050, so we're all about balance. And we're not just about, getting women into positions of leadership. We're also about getting men into positions of caring, because if they're not going to step back and care for their own children, first of all, there's not going to be any room for women to step into leadership roles. And until we can remove that stigma, nothing's going to change. That's kind of, so we've kind of developed and grown our own vision and values over the years as we've learned about how best to balance the workplace, because that's really, I mean, ultimately our goal is to get women into positions of leadership, but there's a big journey to get there, and it's a complete changing of society's mindset. It's something we want to be part of, and something that we believe we can champion and spearhead to make those fundamental changes to the way people think about caring for their own children, because that is what's going to change women in positions of leadership. That's what's going to change the C-suite. That's what's going to close the gender pay gap, because at the moment it mainly falls on women's shoulders, and it's unpaid work and it's unvalued work. So it's not even thought of as work. It's not measured in the GD. Breastfeeding, the amount of times you hear people saying, oh, breast is best and it's free. Well, it's not actually free, because women sit there spending hours doing it. And I can guarantee if men did it, they wouldn't be going on about how it was free and easy.
Well, and we also say that time is money. So, the time that women are spending doing that is time that they could spend doing other things, getting paid for it. So,
but it's not valued. We're not valued, and
it's taken for granted sometimes, I think.
Yeah, so it's a changing of a mindset. It's a big goal that we have to change that mindset and the narrative within society. But I've seen changes in my lifetime that have been, if you told me, 20 years ago that was what was going to happen, I would have said you're mad.
Yeah,
When I first started work, people were smoking at their desks.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh, gosh, I
there
remember that.
you can see complete mindset changes within 10 years, even less. I mean, look what's happened since the pandemic.
Exactly, exactly. And I think once the ball starts rolling, then change starts happening and change starts to happen really fast. So it's so important that people out there are having these discussions. And when we look at our industry, I mean, again, I haven't done any formalized studies on the matter, but it's just through mere observation. But I do tend to feel that ours is a very female oriented industry. So would you say that? I mean, is my observation correct, or am I up in the clouds somewhere?
No, I think, of course, there's definitely more women in the industry than men. That I mean, I've had people say to me, oh, 50-50 should be 70-30, should be 80-20. It's like, well, yeah, all right, mate, you're missing the point. The point is, where is the power? Look for the
I
money.
was going to say that's the next
Yeah.
question, but are the women in leadership positions in our industry?
No, I mean, you go to Alto, and you look around and there's women there, and they've probably got, I bet you there's more women members of Alto than there are men. But then you look, these are individual women who own their businesses, like me, with
Yeah.
Hello Exmouth. I've sold that now, but I don't have a chain of schools across the world with lots of investment. I'm kind of like an individual sole trader, but I still own my own business. So in
Exactly.
terms
A
of,
small business owner.
I'm a small business owner, but I'm not, in terms of a woman, I'm being counted as, so there's 50-50 women or whatever it is. But when you look at who's got the power and who's got the money, once again, it's white men.
Okay, okay. And this brings me, so like that, we also link it up a little bit with the awards, because you always have, every time I've attended your awards, you always have this inspirational woman
Yes.
speaking about her experience in a man's world, speaking about how she kind of managed to not only survive but thrive in a man's world. Can we expect something similar this year as well?
Yes, you can, Venice. I'm glad you asked me that question. And I can exclusively reveal today, because we haven't really revealed.
You're gonna tell us who it is.
I'm going to tell you who it is. I think I can tell you who it is. I don't think she'll mind. I mean, she's agreed to do it, so I'm going to say it. And she's absolutely brilliant, and you're going to be excited. It's Lisa James, the managing director of Embassy Summer.
Okay, so actually from our industry.
From our industry.
Nice. Okay.
Always been inspirational to me. Always been, somehow has managed to navigate being, a leader and a successful leader in a man's world, but has retained that being a friend of women. She's your mate. She's still your mate. She doesn't make you feel like she's, there are sometimes in order to get to that position, women have to adopt a look and a certain way of behaving,
Which is sometimes intimidating. I
yeah,
think
and
that's
I can see that, they've had to adopt
Yes.
the traditional masculine, not male,
Yes.
masculine paradigm
Masculine.
of leadership in order to get to that position. And when they get to that position, they think, this has taken me bloody ages and I've had to make a lot of sacrifices for this. So, why should I now start pulling up, I'm going to pull up the ladder? And I can see why that would happen. They think I'm not putting my head above the parapet in case, and start saying, well, we need more women in here, because then they're going to go, hang on a minute, we let you into this boys' club and now you're turning against us.
Yeah.
So it's a very tricky situation, but somehow Lisa has totally managed that with grace and warmth.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that now.
She's really cool.
Nice.
She's genuinely inspirational and someone I look up to. So I'm delighted that she's agreed.
Yeah, and it's nice that people like her can, share her experience with the rest of us, because I'm sure, I mean, sitting down listening to these people is always such a lesson,
Yeah.
it inspires you. So I think it's going to be definitely going to be a nice way, to celebrate these awards. And speaking of celebrating these people who are, pioneers in balancing gender quota, and in, in
Mhm.
keeping this balance alive within their companies, can you tell us a little bit about perhaps some of the nominations and some of the nominees that we have
Yeah.
for this year's awards? We recently published an article on schools and agents to, to showcase and to promote these people who have been nominated. But perhaps you can tell us a little bit about the awards themselves. What awards can we expect to see on the night?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. One of the most important things for women, getting women into positions of leadership as well, is to celebrate the wins, to celebrate things that people are doing well, and also in supporting women, but also the women themselves. So like with Lisa James, who's doing our keynote, but also the women here, then you and I can look at them, Bernice, and we can think, God, they can do it, and they seem quite normal and brilliant, and I can do it too. But last year, as our keynote, I don't know if you remember, we had Susan Fang.
Yeah, I remember that.
Legendary. Yeah. She did
Definitely.
legendary keynote, and
Definitely.
she is actually, I'm really pleased to see she's been nominated as Inspirational Woman this year.
Okay.
So she'll be there at the awards. We've also got Slavenka from Languages United. She's been nominated as Inspirational Woman, and Magda Link from ILAC. So we've got some really, really good, strong female contenders
Women,
there.
exactly. And one of my personal favorite awards that you have is the Rising Star Award. And
Yeah.
the reason is that these are women who are just about starting in this industry, which is a place where we've all been, in my case, 2 decades ago. In the case of some other people, perhaps a little bit less. But those of us who have been in the industry so long, I think, feel inspired by the fact that yes, there are people out there who are ready to continue carrying the torch.
Yeah.
And for me, that is literally the female inspirational award is definitely, one of the
Favorite.
ones we all want. But this Rising Star Award is something I always like,
Yeah.
because then I enjoy following where
Yes.
these women, end up a few years down the line.
Well, we've had some great rising stars. Juliana Bonvini, do you know?
Yeah, yeah, I know Juliana.
I think she won. I mean, she won years ago, and
Yeah.
now her career
Look at
has
her
taken
now.
off.
Yeah,
She's going to be giving keynotes, in a couple of years. She's going to,
definitely.
in 10, 15, she's going to be winning lifetime achievement. She has, so we are literally picking out the winners of the future by
Yes,
at
yes,
these
yes.
awards. Um, yeah, we've had some great people. This year we've got Fulia Dogan from Londonist, DMC.
Okay.
So she's one to watch. Vidi Mystery from Oxford International Education Group. Yes, and Katerina Shapovalova from Shorelight.
Chocolate. Okay, no.
So we've got some really good people again, and it
Yeah,
is exciting to see these younger women coming up with
definitely.
confidence and like you say, continuing on. And these women will have had Lead 5050 all the way through their career. They'll have seen.
Exactly. And that's why it's interesting to see, how it's going to be like for them to, because I think watching these women grow in the industry is also a reflection of the work that you guys are doing.
Yeah. It's great, isn't it? And we've had so many supportive businesses over the years. I mean, I have to do a special mention to ISEF because they have given us the support in so many ways. We've got Isabel and Marcus, of course, who have always given us the space to do these awards the night before ISEF. It's the perfect time. And we literally wouldn't be able to do it, well, certainly not to the standard that we do it without their support. So huge thanks to them. And also ILAC, who have been there since
Yes.
the beginning. ILAC are our main sponsors again this year. and they are always there to support us. And the staff at ILAC, the women who work there, are also fantastic. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to those two in particular, because they've just been a complete, they've been consistent since the beginning, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah. And it's nice to see, because I mean, it's nice to see that two such big companies in our industry are supporting such an organization like yours. So definitely, hats off to them, and hats off to you ladies for what you have managed and for what you are continuing to do in our industry, especially for these women who are starting out, and also for the women who have been in the industry for a long time, because it's always nice to get recognition, to get, support for the work that they've done over the years. 15 minutes fly by, but I definitely look forward to catching up with you and Maria and all the women at Lead 5050, come November at the awards. From our end, Ella will continue to obviously share the news about new developments that we have in the industry, in the awards. And what I will also do is in the comments section, as soon as we finish, I will add a link so that if, perhaps I'm jumping the gun here, but if there are people who would still like to buy tickets for the awards, is that possible? Okay.
Yes.
Good. Okay.
Definitely. Please buy tickets. They're selling fast, but it's a great night, and it's a great way to start ISEF Berlin, have a few drinks, and then we all go down to the Marlena bar. So please join us.
So from my side, I'll add the link down in the comment section. I will also include the link in the article once we publish the article on Schools and Agents. So if there's anybody who would like to join us on this festive night, because it is a night of celebration and festivities, we all definitely look forward to having many of you there in the industry. It doesn't matter if you're male, if you're female, as long as you are supporting this, this idea of empowering women in leadership roles in international education, you are most welcome to join us on the night. Ella, thank you so much for being with me today. It has been a pleasure. We did start with a small hiccup because for some reason we lost the connection, but we managed, and I'm glad we did. Thank you very much for being with me today.
We did.
And
Thank
I'll
you
see
so
you
much.
in
Thanks
November.
for inviting me.
Take care, everybody, and have a lovely weekend.
Bye.